All right, welcome back to Go Rest. I'm Buddy Lindsay, and we are going to continue on in the process of working on our uh, TUI application that is a Postman alternative. Um, Last week we worked on the TUI input widget so that we could make it easier to input and do stuff with text. This week, I want to go ahead and work on kind of moving stuff into the tab widget and making that a little more standalone, just to kind of separate concerns. And I want to focus also on doing that with text input or with the user input as well, similar to the TUI input. I'm not 100% sure how we're going to go about that, but I do want to give it a shot to see what we can do. It's learning experience. So with that in mind, excuse me, out, sorry. Let's jump into our code and let's take a look around. We're starting out with that. So let's run it. We're hitting tab to be able to go here, to go between our tabs up here. And then let's say we want to edit the URL. Do that. We're hitting the over button. So we can do that. Hit escape. There we go. Mixed post. If we want to do the verb, do that. Escape. Run it again. Run it again. We got things working. So it does work. In a sense, we have an alternative. Two issues exist. One is the code is a little organized. Actually, I guess three issues. One, the code is a little disorganized. It's not terrible. The other is we can't add new tabs and remove tabs. And then finally, just the output of the data is just, it's all this one giant line. So we got to take care of that too. But today, I want to focus on the actual some of streamlining the code. So let's take a look at source tabs. So we have a tab. We have our inputs, and these are input objects. So one of the things, source app, I think, when we do handle input, when the current screen is in editing mode, it actually sends it into the actual input of the thing. So one thing we have to think about is we're doing the current screen of editing. Is that okay? What are we editing? For the moment, we're editing a tab. But are we going to edit anything else in the future? To know to pass that into there. Let's keep this alone. Keep it alone. Let's assume. Let's see. Assume for now this is only relating to a tab. Cool. Okay. So, if that's the case, then we want to get the current tab. We have the active tab, and then we want to do a tab dot handle events. And then, so in the case of that, we're doing reference event key. We'll do that. And then split that, do source tabs. So then as part of the tab, let's do it down at the bottom here. But I want to do it above make request. We will do something. hub function handle event. And we're going to do key event, and this is a key event key. What is this type? What? Okay. Well, let's do some BIM work here. Let's do update. Markdown. And we're doing I don't know on some of this. Remark. No parser for markdown language. See how true. Oop. Uh, tree sitter parsers. Let's see. NVim includes these parsers. You can install more parsers. Right. So markdown language. See how executing vim.schedule Lua callback. Function add. So that's in the vim editor Lua. So it's not in any of my code. Man, that's annoying. Well, I guess we could do this the hard way. Do yank, paste. It's already there. Of course it is. Do all that. Okay. So with that in mind, we would do um, Okay, so now we have a self reference in there. Paste. And this is where we got to import the trait here. Yep, there we go. Okay, we got that in place. And then T. All right, so we have handle event. So this should pass it down through to do the thing. But in this case, we want to do key event. Key event. This is where consider borrowing here. Wait a minute. Editing. I don't think I'm referencing Crikey. Some editing. Oh my gosh, if let still gets me here. Okay, so self.currently editing. Okay, what is currently editing? Currently editing is request information, which is a verb. Okay, okay, yeah. So we're good with that. So let's do that. Okay. Consider removing the borrow. Okay. So if we're doing a URL, there we go. Enter. Boom. Blew up. Didn't work. Let's do a verb. Whoop. Escape. Enter. There we go. Oh, that actually worked. Okay. So yeah. So we successfully pulled it up. We are doing. So the question is. So when we hit escape, we're escaping out of the tab. And yeah, no, this is good. We're handling the current tab. We don't want to do a tab manager in this. So we're doing the tab. All right. We're good. Okay, escape goes back to current screen main. We're getting the current tab, and then we're sending it the handle event. From there, it's saying, hey, which text box are we editing on? Cool. Let's pass down the event further. We're good. Man, that's annoying that happened. I gotta fix that. Okay, so current screen based on quit. This is an application level thing. This is an application level thing. Current screen main. We're going to quit. We're going to tab. So what is you? We're going to switch to editing. Okay. So here we go. So if we want to edit a URL, or we want to edit a verb for our HTTP request, and we want that decision to be in the tab, we do need to get it out of here. So there's a couple of things that we've got to pay attention to. If we did a handle event, let's go to, yeah, if we did the handle event, we passed in an event, and let's say we did this and it's editing, then and there's no editing going on. So that's just it. It's like here, I mean, up in the application level is where we're making the decision of what to do in the tab. But does that make sense? Does it make sense to have this up here? I can kind of see it making sense because it changes application state. Whereas in here, we're changing tab state. And we're doing stuff with the tab. The difficulty here is that we're affecting the application state and the tab, and that's not necessarily a good separation of concerns. So the question is, this is not necessarily a technical issue to deal with Rust, but is more of a how do we want to use the application issue. If we let's punt on this with the caveat that we're going to come back to it, because as we work more on the application, this might suss itself out a little more on how we want to deal with this. So with this in mind, let's work on adding a new tab. So in that case, again, we're doing application state. So let's do key code car n for new. And then we're going to do self dot tabs. So here's enter is another one of those like, hey, we are the enter actually should live in the tab. Move this to the tab code. All right. So we're gonna do tabs. Tabs is a vec dot push tab. Crap. What? Where did I go? Okay, here we go. Is this yank? Does tab have a default? Tab default style. I don't think tab is a default. Okay, so for now, let's just do this. Push. Percent. That and cargo FMT. Self.tabs.push a new tab. This is part of push. Mismatch closing delimiter. What? Why aren't you working? I mean, literally, I am trying to do this right here. I'm closing, opening. There we go. Ah, man, the LSP was just going, hey, I hate you. Go away. Okay. So then we want to do key code, oops, code delete, delete, uh, so this one we want, we want to do so that we're going to go to the next one. Self.tabs. Removes and returns the element at the position of the index within the vector, shifting all elements after it to the left. Because this shifts over the remaining elements, it has a worst case performance of ON, and we don't really care about that. If you don't need the order of elements to be preserved, use swap remove. Yeah, we kind of need that instead. If you'd like to remove elements from the beginning of the vec, consider using a pop front. Yeah, I don't really care. So, I think active tab is a U size, yeah. So what we want to do is we want to get let index equals self dot active tab dot clone, and then we're gonna do tabs dot remove. Nope, then we're gonna do this, then we're gonna do this. And I'm gonna tell you right now, this line right here is me doing this with a misunderstanding of kind of how what happens whenever you deal with a U size or an integer or something like that, because I don't know. I feel like if I referenced here, we could actually test it. I feel like if I did this without a clone, it would just be a reference to the memory location. Then when I did this, and then when I did this, it'd be like, hey, you're gonna have a bad time, and it's gonna remove the active tab and not the one that I wanted to remove. So let's do cargo end, cargo run, do new. Let's do, I want to update the verb post. Awesome. Escape. Tap. All right, now delete. Ooh. So, however, I think there's a bug. I think there's a logic error in how I'm doing this. Because yeah, there is. Why this is going to be fun. Let's do oops. Verb, we'll do option. Then let's do oops. Do post. Then we're gonna do head. Head. Then we're gonna do put. Nope. B put. Put. Okay. So we're gonna go here. So really, what I want to happen is to go to post after this is deleted. I am willing to bet, because of a logic error, I'm going to hit delete, and it's going to go to head because I'm moving it, I'm advancing it. And the active tab is the index at which it's actually, I think this is going to throw an error, a runtime error. Let's see what happens. I was right, because it went out of index, it went out of bounds of the index. So we have to cover that. This is a bug. This is a runtime bug that we get to fix. First, we're going to kill that. All right, so we actually are fine with deleting the active tab. So let's do tabs remove self.active tab. Okay, now let's come in here. Let's cargo run. Let's do a few news. Let's go over here. We're gonna update the verb on this to be post. We're gonna update this verb to be put. And then we're gonna update this verb. What are you doing? Verb. Oops. What? Something's funny. Okay. Verb. What? URL? Oh, I have my caps lock on. Option. Okay, so let's go here. And what I want to happen when I delete it is it goes to put. So let's do a delete. And now we're on put because it uses the active one. Now, when I go here to the end, it's going to throw an error. Boom, index out of bounds. So we want it to just wrap to the beginning. Fill that one. All right, so if self dot active tab is equal to self.tabs.length plus 1, then I want to do else. So there's that. And then I want to do self.active tab equals 0. And then self.tabs.pop. Pop should remove the last element. That's what I thought. Okay. Alright. So now we should have fixed that. Okay. Unused, unnecessary. Oh. This is the problem with using so many languages all the time, is sometimes you just get weird things around if statements. Okay. Alright, conceptually, if the length and the active tab, this should be a minus, or it should be active tab plus 1. Then it should go to the beginning and then pop the last one off instead of throwing a runtime error. So let's do cargo run. Let's do view new tabs. Verb is post, escape, and delete goes to the beginning. Works. Okay. So let's do another usability thing. Let's see if we can figure out how to do Ratatouille with like doing multiple, like hitting the shift. Let's see if it's in here. Vent. Key code, right. Okay, key code car. LA. Ooh. Nice. As a Vim user, this should have been obvious. So let's add that in. Okay, where am I at? I'm in app, right? Oh, let's close this. Let's do key code. Car L or that one. Q cargo run. Q. Awesome. Let's do this. Let's just do this for now. I want to figure out how to do the shift. Cargo run. Yeah, that's what I figured was about to happen. That's the logic isn't going to work to wrap around back to the front. I just was copying and pasting for the moment. All right. Okay, so let's see. I still want to figure out previous night. I don't care about that. Hoping key code. Yeah, that's not gonna be there. All right, let's go look at the Ratatouille docs. Let's go to widgets, layout, event handling. Don't care. It's not what I want. Thanks, Gabe. I'm glad you're liking them. I am totally enjoy doing it. Gabe said, really loving the Ratatouille videos. I'm having a blast making them. Learning a lot. I'm glad I'm able to get past the kind of the beginnings of Rust and trying to just figure some of that stuff out and actually get more into like trying to figure out application flows and things like that. It kind of helps me dig into more of actual Ratatouille itself. It's been a lot of fun. And I've always wanted to learn TUI applications because I feel like it's like a great enhancement of console command line applications and use a lot less memory and just a lot better, in my opinion, especially when they're done well. Apps, demo. This is not what I want. User input, maybe it'll be in there. It's like I'm looking for an example that I've seen many times, and now that I want it, it's not showing up. I think it's like modifier? No? Alright. Do a new one. Yeah, I'll let All right. See, I was learning Slint Iced, and honestly, I went with Ratatouille. We messed with GUIs and Rust. Is there a reason you're using a TUI instead of a GUI? Actually, I have looked at Iced. A friend of mine works at Kraken, and they sponsored Iced, and so I really looked into that. I really like the Elm architecture, and the problem is it was over my head, and I just started at the beginning of this year doing these live streams of actually learning Rust, and uh, I've been trying to get away from GUIs in general, just because I feel like it's nice to have everything in a terminal because I'm a crazy neckbeard Linux user, and so I do want to learn other UIs like GUIs, like specifically Iced, because if I recall correctly, Cosmic UI from System 76, they're using Iced under the hood for it, and so I do want to contribute to that because I like the idea of them rewriting a window manager and all the associated things with modern stuff, and so I do want to learn that, but the Chewy was kind of lower level, like it was more approachable, if that makes sense to me, and I didn't have to stretch so many different ways to get started in learning Rust. And so, I mean, like I said, it's July, so 7 months of really learning Rust. I bought, uh, I can't find it. Oh, right here. I bought this book a couple of years ago and started going through it and just never really went through it. And finally, I'm like, I just got to do something. And so I started doing the streams. And so this is just the easiest approach. And I got tired of Postman being a memory hog and them wanting to charge me for it. So it's kind of my journey. Anyway, so let's jump back to this. So key event. Okay. Oh yeah, modifiers. Yeah. Okay. Match the key event. I'm gonna copy this just as a thing to remember here. Match match key event read. We're doing what is back tap? Wait, is that this is a cross term, I think. Cross term back tab. Cross term roll. Oh, Rust. That's cool. It's kind of just built in. Hey, look at this. Maybe if I keep this open, I can look stuff up. But yeah, that's that's super cool. Okay, so we're just gonna do for key code back tab. So L and A, okay. Let's try it. Cargo run. Yep, it works. Ha. All right, so in this case, I'm hitting L to go forward. I'm hitting H to go back. Tab to go forward. Shift tab to go back. It works. If we look at back tab, what? Okay, don't know how it works. Gonna ignore it for now. Cue that. I was hoping it would repair it. Didn't seem to. Okay, exit. Okay, man, that's cool. I like that. Okay, so let's fix this. So if we're going back, if active tab, whoops, if self.active tab is equal to 0, do self.active tab equals self dot tabs dot returns the last element dot length -1. Just do that. Else, sure there's some Rust syntax that'll make this a little cooler. Alright, cargo run. There we go. We got it. We got a nice little user experience with going through our tabs. The thing we need to do next is... Okay, so again, this is application state. I feel like this is fine. We probably need to do a default for tabs. Let's do that. Trying to think. I want to trying to could you it's trying to remember syntax. All right, let's do source app derive default. Derive default. So then I want to do... No, we don't need to do that. Yeah, I think I could just do that, yeah. Because, yeah, oh crap. Derive default, that should give it a default. I made a bunny. Then should be able to go here. Uh, and I really only need one tab now. But I do want to start with a tab. Active tab, current screen main. All right. Let's cargo run. And then I want to do verb. Verb is get. And then I want to do URL. Localhost 8000 API. Should have seen that coming. It's a error case that I need to account for. But at least we're there on that part. So if we want to do a new percent defaults, there we go. Actually, I can do this tab default. Get rid of that. Awesome. Just out of curiosity, I don't want to think about this at the moment, but I'm just curious. How can we slim this up? This rust up. No, it doesn't need to change like that. All right. Cool. One thing to note, if we drop everything through, then we would actually have a hierarchy issue where we would need to go through all of the stuff. Let's go here. So in reality, we could do self dot make request like this. If no. Else, yeah. And then do match key.code key nope key code enter, pop this up here, there we go. key event. Yeah, this is where event key. I need a. So we're passing in a key event, and I've got to yank out. I've got to pull out the key code. See, in the case up here, we're just continuing to pass it through. Over here, match the key, which is the event. So I think we're just rewrapping the event here. Yeah, event key. So if we did event key, we did this. And then did if let, whoops, stop at if let, so we can scoop it out. Key equals key event. Then match key you might have meant to use key.code. Did I do it? So then in this case, I want to do self dot yank that. We're getting the active tab, and then we want to do dot handle event. We want to do the rewrap event key pass. So that way we have the option to handle other events. So now we can handle an event in modes. If it's in the mode of editing, here, currently editing, then we do a thing. And we're changing the state of the tab. I don't know if this is a good way to do this or a good idea, but it's working. Well, actually, I don't know if this next part works, but uh, okay. So we want to do URL get. Oops. Verb get. We do URL. Let's see. JSON testing URL for example stuff. Whatever. JSON test. Oops. New REST API testing. Yeah. Fake data. Yeah. Yep. Good. Let's just do that. Copy. Is that what? Ooh. That's a cool feature. Do URL. There we go. Oh, that was awesome. I should have paste. I did a paste. That was cool. Now enter. It worked! I moved the request and the enter and all of that stuff into the tab. That was amazing. I'm excited. Okay. So yeah, so this is now folding extra things. So if I had other widgets, so here's the deal. If I had other elements, I think that, okay. All right. I don't know a good way to say this, so I'm just going to say it. If I had this piece right here, and I had other elements, other widgets that needed to handle user input, and let's say I had self dot sidebar dot handle event, and we did event key like that. And if I did this, let's say I had helper. The issue is if I hit enter, it would fall into there, then it would go into there, and then it would go into there. So I can't have, so I need to figure out how to do it so that based on the application state, it's going to do the right thing. I don't know how to do that. I need to think. Again, this is application architecture. This isn't Rust specific. This is just how do you deal with this issue in your in this specific application. But what I am excited about, I'm going to delete these because I don't need these. I am excited about the. Okay, let's just close this. That I was able to write an if-let, a match, do the conversion, understand that we are checking the key event is an event that's key, and we're pulling out into the key into the key object here, variable. Then we were able to match the code against enter, and then make it like I was able to write this whole function on my own without Copilot, without ChatGPT copying and pasting. Like, I was able to do that. And like, this is a core part of doing Rust. And so I am excited that I handled that. I did get a little like wishy-washy on a few elements, but it shows progress. So with that, I'm going to call it a night. Thank you for watching. Join me next week where we're going to continue on with this and make more progress. I think we're getting closer to fully functional. I don't know when this is going to be done, when this project is going to be done, but I think we're getting closer, probably within a few videos. It depends on how much stuff I can think of that I want to do to really, shape it. So anyway, with that, I'll see you next time. Yeah, I never know how to end these, so I'm just